In today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through every step-by-step process on how you could buy your first home. Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Chia. I am a realtor here in Sacramento and Elk Grove area, and today I want to walk you guys through the step-by-step process of buying your first home. And I'm going to try my best to explain each step so that way I don't take too much of your time, but I'm not going to go too in-depth to where this video becomes a whole dictionary. You know what I mean? So let's kick it off with the first step you need to do in order to buy your first home. First step to buying a home is getting pre-qualified. This means you have to shop lenders. You have to find the lender that you want to work with. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your local bank, or maybe it's just a referral that was referred to you by a family member or a friend. This is the most important step because it puts you on the right track to buying a home, because when you speak to a lender, they're going to tell you what your credit score needs to be. They're going to tell you what assets you need to have, how much savings for a down payment you're going to need, and what your credit score also needs to be. So this is a good starting point. Like, for example, if your credit is low, how many points do you need to increase in order to qualify? A lender will be able to tell you exactly what debts you need to pay off in order to get that score so that you can qualify to buy a home. When you're shopping lenders, I normally always recommend talking to at least 3 different lenders. The reason being is because not all lenders are created equal, meaning not all lenders are gonna give you the same programs. Maybe you wanted down payment assistance, and maybe the particular lender that you're talking to just aren't feeling comfortable talking with you about down payment assistance. Then most likely they probably don't offer that. That's probably why they're pushing you more towards like a traditional conventional or traditional FHA loan. If that is the case, try speaking with another lender from a different company to see if they offer down payment assistance, if that's the program that you're going for. And I know what you guys are thinking, Chia, my credit's gonna get ruined if I do this because every lender's gonna run my credit. Isn't this true? That is actually false. If you look right here, it says that the credit bureau actually allows you 30 days from the initial pull to go and shop. As long as it's for the same purpose of getting a mortgage, then they are actually only gonna ding your score once, because this is to encourage shoppers to go and shop interest rates to get the best quote. If you didn't know, you're welcome. Getting pre-qualified is also super important because you do not want to be like the average Joe that goes and find a home first, then decides to get their pre-qualification out of the way afterwards. If it's a competitive market, you do not want to do this. I repeat, you do not want to do this, because if you want to pull the trigger quick on a home that you fell in love with, and time is of the essence, and you want to be pre-qualified so that way when you do see your home that you've love, you can submit an offer on it right away and not wait till your pre-qualification goes by, because most likely after your pre-qualification has been verified, that home's probably gone. The next step is deciding what type of program you now are qualified for and want to go with. Is it FHA? Is it VA? Is it conventional? Is it down payment assistance? Is it private financing? Depending on what program you want to go with is also going to vary. For example, FHA requires 3.5% down. Conventional requires 3 to 5 to 10 to 20% down depending on your credit score. There's pros and cons to all of these programs, so you gotta find out which program is best fitted for you and your needs. For example, FHA will automatically give you a mortgage insurance, also known as MI. So that way, in case you default in the future, this pays for the remaining loan. The next step is you wanna find out what type of home you want. Do you need a 3-bedroom? 1 bathroom? How many stories do you want? Whatever it is that you want regarding a home, whether it's the location, the yard size, if it has a garage or not, you need to figure this out so that way you're super proactive. So that way the homes that you only look at are the homes that you and your family needs. The next step is finding a realtor that you want to work with. What I would recommend is for you to utilize a buyer's agent. The reason being is because you don't pay the commission. Why is it that you don't pay the commission? I'm glad you asked, because when a home gets put on the market, the seller agrees to pay a buyer's agent commission and a listing agent commission. A listing agent is a person that puts a seller's home on the market, and a buyer's agent brings a buyer in to submit an offer and buy the home. So because of this, the seller agrees ahead of time to pay the buyer's agent and the listing agent already. So you don't need to worry about. So this is a huge plus for a lot of buyers that don't really know where to start or don't really know the area and want to get a local expert to help them negotiate deals and write up contracts for them, so that way they don't have to do all the heavy lifting themselves. When you have decided on a realtor that you want to work with and help you submit offers, let's just say you found a home of your dreams and you submitted an offer. The next step is doing the due diligence and finding out what that home is actually worth. Because believe this or not, sometimes not all homes that hit the market are gonna be worth what they are asking for. So doing your proper due diligence is gonna be a huge plus. This way you'll avoid overpaying for a home that is not worth it. So for example, if a home was put on the market for $300,000 as a listing price, and you did your homework and found out that the homes around the area were actually going for $320,000, this home is actually underpriced. And with you submitting an offer right at asking, might not get you the deal, because most likely you might be having other competition submitting offers on that home as well. And if they did their homework correctly and they know that there's also competition submitting on that same property, therefore they increase their offer to 320, but you not doing that, keeping it exactly at 300K, you end up missing out on that home. The first impression that first-time home buyers get is they don't want to compete and overbid on a property, but this could actually do you more harm than good. Let me explain. Let's say you find a home that you like because you've been looking at homes with your agent for months and you finally found the one and you submit an offer on it, and you don't compete even though you know that the market is a competitive market right now and homes are going for over asking. You end up losing out on a bid and it takes you another 5-6 months to find another home. By that time, depending on the market, maybe the price has gone up. That same home for 300K is probably now worth 310. So was it worth you competing and submitting an offer right at 310 in that beginning, so that way you stop looking with your realtor right away? Because probably by then you would have already gotten your home, been all moved in and ready to settle down already, versus now, because you didn't compete, you have to go back and look at homes with your agents. Be sure to pay attention to this next part because it's going to be super important if you want to find out how I negotiate down the price for all my clients. Even after you have completely done your due diligence on that particular property, remember this one thing: it doesn't matter what you or your agent or the seller thinks the home is worth. It matters what the home is gonna appraise for. So despite all of that due diligence that you just did, it still might not appraise, which I'm gonna talk about next. Here's a reason why you might want to consider overbidding: because you still have to go through appraisal contingencies. If you are utilizing a loan to buy a home, they're not just gonna give you the money. They want to make sure that the home that you're about to submit an offer on is worth the value of that price. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna send out a third-party appraiser to go and appraise the property to make sure that the home is worth whatever it is that you submitted the price at. And in a case to where the appraiser comes back short, you now get to renegotiate down the price with the owners, because they can't sell their home because it did not appraise. And if they decide they want to just cancel because they don't want to sell it to you at that under appraised value, guess what? That seller now has to let all the buyers that come after you know that the home did not appraise. And most likely when it gets to this point, sellers do not want to go through that, because now it makes their home less desirable. And the home that you're submitting an offer on, know that that offer price is not the final price, because you still need to do your due diligence, such as home inspections. This is just another inspection that you do on the home besides the appraisal, because you gotta find out if anything is broken, such as the HVAC, the windows, the flooring, the foundation, the roof, whatever it is that needs repairs. you want to be able to negotiate that so that way the sellers can give you a credit toward closing costs when you're buying the home or lowering the purchase price. This is a tip I want to share with all you guys that I mentioned earlier. When you are doing your home inspections for the due diligence process, when the report comes back and there's a lot of repairs that needs to be done, what the typical buyer and agent will do is nitpick every item and send it to the sellers with a price tag. I would highly encourage you not to do this. Instead, send them the whole report and figure out how much in total it's gonna cost to get all those items fixed, and then just request for the sellers to credit you that amount. Because when you do it this way, the seller is gonna see the whole report. They're gonna have to take time to scan through every one. And during this time, it's probably like 2 weeks in to escrow. Sellers already feeling like they don't wanna start back from scratch with escrow. They're just gonna wanna get it over with. And most likely, they're not gonna wanna get a quote for every item that's on that list. Chances are your credit that you requested may be agreed upon, and you might end up having closing credit now towards your home. If you don't care about this, then go ahead and mention every item and see where that gets you. Because most likely the seller is just gonna say, I could do all these items myself. Part of the due diligence is escrow period, and this can last up to 30 to 45 days depending on if there's any hiccups involved, such as if they found any liens at title regarding the property that needs to be cleared up. That's gonna bring hiccups as well to the escrow period. And now this is a team effort where the seller, the seller's agent, you, your agent, and the lender all need to work together so that way the home closes on time, and so that way you get your keys in a timely manner. If there is no good communication going on between this process, there could be a lot of hiccups that can occur. The next step, after everything has been done and negotiated and the sellers agree to repair certain items for you, appraisers came back good, this is where you and your agent go back to the property and conduct a final walkthrough to make sure that if there was repairs that was negotiated with the sellers, believe it or not, there are slight chances to where, depending on the neighborhood that you're buying the home from, when you do the final walkthrough and verify that windows are broken into, glass doors are broken into because of a squatter, if this is the case, the seller needs to address this first before you can move forward. Because wouldn't you hate it if you got the keys and you decided not to do a final walkthrough and you realize there's all these damages now caused by a squatter? Now, because you are the new owner and you did not conduct a final walkthrough, you are the one that is responsible for all those repairs. So don't do that and avoid it at all costs. Before signing anything, you want to conduct a final walkthrough. And speaking of signing, this is where you get called into the title company or hire a mobile notary to meet you at a Starbucks or at your home to sign the deed over. This is where you are going to see a lot of duplicates of all the documents that you've been signing with your agents. The reason behind this is because they need a wet signatures from the new owners, because nothing beats the wet traditional signatures. You're also verifying that the rates and the payments from the lending side is also accurate compared to what your lender gave you. So this is where you double check everything. They double check to make sure that you are who you say you are. They verify your ID. Once all the paperwork has been signed, this is where you now wire in the remaining funds. Once all the funding is in the title company, they disperse it out to pay the liens of the property, pay the seller, and all the fees and commissions. Now it records and you are the official owner. And if you guys want me to go more in depth for each step, comment down below which step you guys want me to make a more detailed video about. Is it the offering stages? Is it the escrow period? Is it the due diligence part? Is it the closing, the signing? Whatever stage that you guys want me to make a more in-depth video about, comment down below and I'll be sure to read them and make a video about that. But that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.